Hello and good day, everyone. This is the first among the series that I'm going to create regarding CSS. I am doing this for my classes that are whose students are are beginners in CSS. I would like to start with a very important CSS property called the display property. What I have here is a simple HTML which contains three labels and three paragraphs. I am going to use this to identify the difference between or among different display properties. Okay, what are labels and paragraphs? We know that labels and paragraphs are elements that are used to show text, primarily to show text. So in this case, if you try to view this in your browser, we have the following views. No? We have three labels and three paragraphs, and we can identify the difference as they appear. Now, to illustrate the main differences, let me put the first style first. Okay, the very first style that can be used to visually identify the difference between a label and a paragraph. Let's call it a border. Okay, so for example, we can give all labels. This is how we do styling. We place the styles in the style tag in the header tag of the HTML. Although now later we will transfer this to a different uh, file called a CSS file. By the way, CSS means cascading style sheets. So to make a long story short, we'll use a picker or a selector, okay, to the item that we want to style in the HTML. So let's style all labels. We do that this way. No? So we'll give it a border, the first border, no? A border of 1px and called solid. There are many properties. No? We'll also style our paragraphs, no? The same way. P, okay, so border 1px and also solid. Okay. We terminate a style is written this way. No, we after picking the element that we want to style, uh, the properties, the style property should be included in curly braces. No? And each property with a value should be separated by a colon. Like in this case, we say that the border property of a label is 1 pixel and solid. The border property of a paragraph is also 1px and solid. Okay. Alternatively, we can put a comma like that, no? So, which means that we are picking labels and paragraphs. Okay. Let's try to view. Let's save this and try to view and refresh. Now there it is. We have labels. Okay. Now we are ready to identify the main differences between a label and a paragraph. Okay. They both contain or they are both used to show text. The main difference, however, is labels are displayed differently from paragraphs because of their display property. A label has a display property called inline. Okay. And a paragraph has a display property called block. Okay. So what is the difference between an inline and a block? You see labels here are displayed inside a line. That's why they're called inline. And paragraphs will occupy one line. That's why they're called blocks. So one of the distinguishing factors of a label, or rather an inline, is whenever it is shown in a certain flow or an HTML document, no, it will try to squeeze itself into the available space of the line assigned to it. However, a block will always start on a new line and will occupy the whole line, regardless whether it's small or large. If it doesn't fit into one line, it will occupy two lines more. It will keep extending itself until all its contents are displayed. Unlike a label, it will occupy as minimum space as possible. Okay, so let's try. And at the same time, by the way, no, we cannot assign a width to a label. We cannot change the size of a label. Let's try to do that. No, so for example, we'll try to target label 1, L1. So we have assigned label 1 an ID of L1. So let's try to give it a width of 300 px. Okay. Let's save this and refresh our file. Take note that the width of label 1 does not change because we cannot assign a size to any element that is assigned to be inline. Okay. On the contrary, if we change this to E1, okay, it will resize paragraph 1. Take note, paragraph 1 is resized. We can resize blocks and cannot resize inline elements. Okay. However, can we change inline elements to be blocks? Yes, in this case, we can, for example, change label 2 from inline, okay, the display property, from inline to block. And we can assign it now a width, shall we say, of 200 px and a height of 300 px. Let's try see what happens. This is L2. Okay, let's refresh this. Let's try to check. There's an error now. L2 is now we need a sharp to identify it. Okay, I'm sorry for that. Okay, take note. Label 2 has changed its width and height. Now it tried to squeeze itself, so label 3 has been pushed down. Let's reduce the size. Let's try to reduce the size of L2 to 50 px. Okay, and try to refresh this. Okay, so take note that L3 is pushed down because L2 has been changed into a block. So blocks will always start a new line, and it will also cause others, the following elements to start at new lines. Okay, before I proceed to the next example, what will happen if we will change a paragraph into an inline? Okay, let's try changing paragraph 1. Okay, so now instead of giving it a width, we will display paragraph 1 inline. Remember we had a width of let's give it a width of 200 pixels as before. Control and save this, and look at what happens. Okay, this is paragraph 1. I'm sorry, no. Okay, and okay, let's try to refresh this. Before everything, let's change L2 to inline first, and maybe no, I'm sorry. Inline should be one dash inline like that. No, I made a mistake there. No, so let's try to refresh. Now that's inline. Take note that, like label 3, paragraph 1 also tried to change itself, no, by squeezing itself into the line where label 3 is. And take note that although we have given it a width of 200 pixels, it didn't adopt the size. It only used as much size as it needed, okay, to print itself. Okay, so by changing the display property of a paragraph to inline, we are changing it like into a label, and by changing a label into block, we are making it like a paragraph. Okay. So I hope that proves the point, between the differences between blocks and inlines. Now, there's also a third property called inline block. Okay, inline block. Let's try to change our previous L2 from inline, or rather from block to inline block. It's like pretend this way. Inline block. Okay. Inline dash block. Okay. Let's save this and try to refresh. Now take note what happened. No? A label 2 strangely still behaves like an inline because it will squeeze itself into the line and occupy as much width as it needs. However, it also adapted the width and the height that we assigned to it. Let's try to change the width by extending it further. Shall we say, let's extend this to 100px. Very good. Save this. Look at what happened. Refresh. Take note that L2 has adapted the width and the height that we've given it. So, by assigning it a display property of inline block, we make it behave like an inline in the sense that it will squeeze itself in a line, and we make it also behave like a block in the sense that it can be resized, it can be given a width and a height. I hope that proves the point. No, we are trying to distinguish here the difference between an inline block and a block. At the same time, we have tried to introduce the properties border, width, height, and so on and so forth. Before I forget, let us try to uh, give this a different color property. Like for example, the background color. Okay. So for example, if we have here a label L1, so we'll give L1 a background color of light blue. Okay. We give L2 a background color of is there a light yellow? We'll try to do that because anyway, there's a light yellow, and L3 will give a background color of red. Change them. Let's try to change this. Yes, we have red, we have light yellow, and is there a what did we change again? L2 is light yellow. Yes, that's what we have assigned. No? So that's how it looks. Now, in the next video, I'm going to show you an example of scans and divs. Bye for now, and thanks for watching.